So, how you feeling today?
Really, really good.
Yeah? Tell me more.
uh, yeah, I'm really excited to start this project. I'm really excited to get this going. I think this is a huge opportunity for me to be working with someone that has this much knowledge and this much experience in the field. And to be honest, I'm even a little bit nervous because it feels like I'm way closer to fulfilling all of my dreams,
Hmm.
which is like having a big company, making an impact, like making more money so I can hire more people and have a better product. And yeah, just very excited to get started.
Okay, awesome. Um, yeah, so nervousness is always good. Uh, there's a lot of different ways that you can translate nervousness inside of your world. So a lot of it's just, yeah, just feeling and experiencing everything that you have. Because on the other side, nervousness is also excitement, right? So, so let's start with your goals, right? Because the first thing that you said, because well, just taking a step back, it's super important for you to look at where you want to go and where you want to land. And I'm also curious, just so I can understand, like, why is that even important to you, right? So, because of all the things that you said, oh, can you hear this in the background? This
No, nothing.
vacuum sound. Okay, landscapers here. Um, yeah, if it becomes an issue, I'll switch it, but just let me know. Um, So one of the first things that you said is, you kind of want, well, first off, you said that you want to realize your dreams, and then you said big company, hire more people, and so on. So let's just dive into that a little bit. Like when you say, your dreams, like what is that actually? Like what is it that you really want here?
Uh, yeah, for me personally, like just being able to work with YouTube is like already like a dream coming true because I always loved YouTube. I always loved content production. I've been like watching YouTube forever, like since maybe 2013, 2014, like been around a lot of trends. Uh, so being able to work with something that I love is already a dream coming true. And um, after that, I want to build a company that helps people achieve their success on the platform. So I would want to like help people become famous, help people get the impact that they deserve. Because I think a lot of it comes to packaging, uh, on how well you present your offer, how well you present the things you present on social media. So the goal with the company is help people have bigger impacts, like with their content. And for me to accomplish something like that, I need like a bigger team. I need. We want to do also some development of products inside the house. So like uh, something like code development as well. So to build everything that we want to build in the future, we need a bigger company to like help the clients the way we want to help them.
Mhm. Okay. So when you say you want to impact people, I mean, I love this because it's kind of like an impact goal. Um, how many, like, what does that look like? What does success look like when you've achieved that? Or what is a success metric in terms of what impact looks like for you?
Uh, for me, is like if I can grow my YouTube channel and teach people how to do everything that we've been working on for the clients, for the people that don't want or don't have the kind of money to pay us to do the work for them. I really want to help people like uh, because like taking a step back, I've been around a world where I can learn a lot of things online. I can learn on YouTube. I can learn through free courses. So I really believe in like giving people the information so they can implement themselves. So that's what we are trying to focus on, is like helping the most amount of people possible with the channel, so that they can become the creators that they want, and maybe use that uh, as a job or as a side hustle that helps them grow in the future.
Got it. Okay. So what I'm hearing in that is because you feel like you've received so much from the free content out there, you also want to contribute so that other people can also receive in the same way, so they can then go do things. Did I get that right?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. So yeah, so let's look at a number then, right? Um, like is there a reach number in terms of people that you're impacting with the content through the people that you're working with, or yeah, what does that look like for you in terms of success?
Like for the numbers, to be honest, like I haven't thought about like how many people in a number. I just want to like put the content out there, and if it's good and it's helping, and it's helping everyone, I think the word will spread out more. And then I don't know, like, to be honest, if I help like one person become famous on YouTube for free, like I will be really really happy with that. So uh but yeah, I think the more people we help, the better.
Okay, well let's get specific, right? Because I'm a big believer that you want to start with the end in mind, number one, and number two, you want to be very clear. I think about this more from a spiritual perspective as well, right? I'm a big believer in like law of attraction and just really calling in what it is that you desire. So this is where you get to write an order to the universe, right? And for now, like you have to get super clear on what that looks like. And and of course there's going to be plenty of room where you're not going to know what that is, but there's certain images that you have in your mind of what this looks like, and I want to start to look at um, hey, what does this actually mean, right? Because one person famous on YouTube for free, it's like, okay, great. Like, what does famous on YouTube mean? Does that mean they have 100,000 subscribers? Do they have 1 million subscribers? Like, what is like? How do you know that they're actually famous on YouTube?
If I would have to get really specific, uh, probably the bigger goal would be to like help 1,000 people reach uh, full-time income with like their creator business around that.
1,000 people reach full time income with their creator business.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Cool. That's more clear. So let's look at, so is that the actual outcome that you help people with in terms of getting them to replace their current income with their existing income?
No, so this is going to be the content side of the business for the people that don't have the money to pay us. So this is uh, who we are helping with only the free content and the free
Yeah.
tools that we are going to put uh, forward. But the goal with the company is to help people that are already in business, that are already making money,
Yeah.
to make more money through the content, because like the ads are getting more expensive by the day. The like it's getting a lot more competitive. So content is a way that you can like have a greater impact than
Right.
everything
No,
else
I
and get more
understand that.
customers.
I understand that, but we're talking about outcomes here, right? Because this is part of where a lot of people aren't super clear in terms of where they want to land, because you need to be super clear in terms of what success looks like for your customer, because that success is what's going to make you successful, right?
Okay.
So so what we're talking about here is the outcome, and what I am observing here is, does your service offering as it stands today actually own and reflect and get them closer to the outcome of replacing their full-time income?
Oh, no, no. The customers that we have are mainly people that have businesses that the content will generate more sales to them, not to replace the business they have with the content.
Right. So so that means that the people that you're working with already have to have products that they're selling, because you're not necessarily going to help them with that, correct?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. So so that becomes pretty clear then. So it's helping 1,000 people reach their full-time income with their creative business by helping them increase their organic reach, essentially. Is that
Yeah.
fair? Okay. So so now so now we kind of have like your big mission goal or impact goal with the company. And you and I agreed that we'll kind of create this container for the next 8 weeks, right? And inside those 8 weeks, you might not necessarily be getting people to that particular outcome. So, but the first thing is just getting them into your world, and then seeing like, hey, how do we actually get them there, right? So let's talk about like, what's the first milestone for you of, hey, how many people, because we have to chip away at this, right? So so um so for 1,000 people, is that going to be in the next 5 years, in the next 10 years? Like, how much time do you think it's going to take for us to hit that goal, or for you to hit that goal rather?
For 1,000 people, because they have to because they have to start the YouTube channel, because they have to start creating content wherever they want to start. Probably, I would imagine that that would take 5 to 10 years.
Okay, so let's just call it 10 years, right?
Yeah.
So 10 years time, you want to help 1,000 people replace their full-time income with their creative with their well, their current income with their creator business income, right? So when they come in, you're going to have to know, well, how much money are they actually making? Because then that's going to set the goal for how much it is that they want to replace. And then you have a very clear success metric right away in terms of, hey, did we help you do this or not, right? So that's your impact scorecard in terms of how you're going to measure success, and it's how your team's going to measure success over the period of time. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So with that said, um, like let's kind of break this down, because in order for you to hit a 10-year goal, I like to take things back from 10-year, 3-year, 1 year, quarter, and then based on that, it's like, hey, what do we have to be per month, right? So then the question is, in the next 3 years, how many people do you think that you can get to help them reach this goal? So of the 1,000, how many people can you help hit this goal in the next 3 years?
Uh, but are we talking about the company or the YouTube side, the content creation for my side?
Yeah, that's a good question, right? So, is it important for you to accomplish this goal with the company, knowing that you guys were successful, or are you happy with, in any way that you guys are operating? People can write in and say, "Hey, Latalba, like when I watched your content and I followed it and I was able to do this." So, as or like, does it have to be inside of your world that you guys accomplish this together?
No, no, I think this is a bigger impact on the world. So I think it would be the first one. Like, if someone watch the content or watch anything that helps them achieve this kind of goal, uh, that would count for us as an impact on the world.
Okay, great. So it's anyone that consumes your content at all, not necessarily them having to work with you.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, that's good, right? Because one of the things that I always like to think about is, I will never know all the people that I've helped out there in the world, right? Like I've worked with so many people that help like the 1,000 people or the million people or whatever it is, where they'll never know I even existed, but I made some type of influence on their life, right? And you're always going to help more people with your free stuff and your marketing than even in the programs and services that you have. So that's really good. So based on that, then how many people do you want to how many people do you want to hit that goal in the next 3 years?
Uh, so I think that it the for the free stuff that will be a curve, like in the beginning will be so much less than at the end because of how content works. So I think if in 3 years we can help like 40 to 50 people, I would be like really happy with that.
Okay, amazing. So 40 to 50, so 40 to 50 people. So now the question is, how many of those people do you want to help directly through your business, like as clients?
In 3 years, so like I think we can get to in 3 years. I think we can get to 100 clients, but that these 100 clients, it would be different uh, if they just come in the last year of the 3 years. We wouldn't be able to help them in like 3 6 months only to help them achieve this goal. So I would like to help 100 clients, but uh, we wouldn't be able to reach that goal
Okay.
like inside the 3 year plan. It probably won't be on the fourth year or
Okay.
longer.
So this is where this starts to get really interesting, right? Because in order for you to actually hit your goal, you also need to figure out, can these people actually pay you? So just by the nature of the impact goal that you're setting, you're also kind of describing some characteristics of the people that might be your customers.
Yes.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So, because what I'm hearing in that, and by the way, it's completely possible because a lot of people have built businesses on this type of model. But what I'm hearing in that is the types of people that you want to work with, like the actual ideal avatar for you, is someone who's already working a full time job, who's not a full time creator.
Yeah. So there are two avatars that we have, probably. The one is for the YouTube channel, and I think the majority of people that will watch the YouTube videos are exactly what you described, like people that want to become creators. They want a path outside their job, but they don't have one right now. And the clients that we have are usually people that have businesses. They have already a product or a service that they want to sell. They are trying to sell it in a variety, like so many different ways, and they want to explore content as a way to get more leads and to get more well known in the space that he is right now.
Right. Yeah, I understand that. But this person, so there's two avatars you said, right? It's a person who is already working and they're trying to get full time. And then the other person is someone who's already working full time but just needs help getting more reach.
Yeah,
So then who's the ideal client for you right now?
I think the ideal clients for us right now is like the the ideal, like the best would be someone that it's already spending on ads, so we can get the cost of ads lower for him. He is already trying to make content on his own and realizing that it takes too much work. It takes too much research, too much editing, too much of everything, and he's not been able to get the consistency that he wants because of the time constraint that he has, because he's already running a successful business, and he wants to get more name for him in the space that he is working right now. And then we can come in and help him lower the cost of ads, because you can test the creatives on the organic, because we can help him get the consistency he wants, and
Yeah.
because probably we will increase the revenue of the company that he has, because doing content is one of the best ways right now to get more clients.
Okay. Yeah, that makes sense. So so this is not the creator that wants to transition, right? So I just want to name these two
No, no.
people.
Yeah.
Yeah. So let's just name these two people so that we can
Okay.
speak to them in terms of names. So what's the name of this person? This persona that you just described here?
uh Joe.
Joe. Um, so typically when I do personas, I always like to do like one of my personas is named like Entrepreneur Eric, or just because it's like that's the person, right? It's the persona is the person. Um, but okay, so but it's this is your world, so you can call him Joe. What about the content creator?
uh no, but why do you use like entrepreneur Eric? Like, do you think it's a good idea to like
It's just so
use the
that when I
name
say
as?
on, yeah, it's so that everyone knows what we're talking about when we're referencing it, right? Because
Oh, okay.
now in conversation, I could just say, well, is this for Joe or is this for the other person? And then you'll just know that we'll know that Joe is spending on ads, wants to test creatives, running a successful business. They're not consistent, right? So we know all this about Joe. So, and I want everyone in the company, like everyone on your team, to also be referencing it by this name because then we all know we're talking about the same person.
Okay. uh no, yeah, because I really like the idea of what you did, like getting like entrepreneur Eric. You not only know who he is, but you always remember like what he does and
Yeah,
who he
exactly.
impacts. Yeah. uh but I don't want to copy yours either.
That's okay. You can change the name.
But yeah, we can go with like Joe the entrepreneur for to start, and then we can change it later.
Okay. And what about the content creator or the part-time creator?
um I think I would go with a female name,
Hmm.
just to keep like interesting. But uh funny, I can't think of names right now.
That's okay.
uh
I mean, we can call them, creator Kathy, um, what's
yeah,
like
that's great.
Carly, Kathy with a C or a K.
With a K.
Cool. Just to confuse everyone, we'll do creator with a
Yeah.
C, creator with a C, and then Kathy with a K. Okay, so we got creator Kathy and Joe the entrepreneur, right? So now there's something interesting here, right? Because in 3 years, when you have 100 clients, are they more creator Kathy's or are they more Joe the entrepreneur?
Oh no, the clients are all Joe the entrepreneur.
Ah, okay. So good distinction, right?
Yeah.
So so then 40 to 50 people, or maybe even 100 clients, but so it's 100 clients, but they're all Joe the entrepreneur.
Yeah.
Okay.
The Yeah, we having a little bit of like with the 100 people, like the way we are doing right now, we are not sure if like we should uh increase the price, and serve more less people with like higher prices and higher impact on how we can deliver to them, and have like maybe uh, 20 people max on the program, or like 30 people, or like have a lower, having a offer that we can have more people on the program, and like we have these two ways, and like I'm not sure of what we should do, like to reach the goals that we have.
Yeah, good question. Um, so typically when I'm working with clients, I always like to go the other way around, right? Which is work with less people, but smash it for them. Like just really crush it for them, right? Because like who cares if you have 100 clients with mediocre results? Like you're better off having one client with great results than even 100 clients with mediocre results.
Yeah, no, that makes
So,
a lot of sense.
but again, so a lot of this also depends on your goal, right? Because we haven't even talked about, like obviously, the number one goal here is how can we get to, how can we get you to the 10K a month, right? And you could do that with one, two, or three clients.
Yeah,
And
no,
that
I
could be
think,
part of your, yeah. So sorry, like tell me what you're thinking here.
yeah, what you said, like to have less people, I think that this feels more right to me, like to deliver a better product for less people. So maybe in a 3-year plan, it would be only 20 clients, not 100. Because I think
Okay.
I wouldn't be able to like oversee 100 clients, but in a way, I think I can oversee like 20 clients with a great team.
Okay. Great. So so this is starting to get a lot more clear, right?
Yeah,
Um, so let's talk about, like let's talk about the 1 year goal then, in terms of, hey, August 2nd, 1 year from now. Um, yeah, which is interesting because I think you and I met almost about a year ago at this point.
yeah.
No, maybe it was like last September. Yeah, almost a year ago, right? So how many clients do you want to be serving inside that time period, inside of the next year?
I think if we can get to like 10 clients, that would be ideal.
Okay, so in a year, right? Said differently. I mean, how much? Like, what's your income goal? Like, how much money do you want to be making inside of a year?
Uh, at the end of at the end of next year, I think if we are making like 20,000 revenue on the company, that would be great.
20K in. Okay, cool. And where are you now?
Around 3 to 4 thousand, depending on the month.
That's in US dollars.
Yeah,
Okay. Okay. So you essentially almost want to 10x the company then inside that period,
yeah,
inside of the next year, right? Because you're going from 3 to 4 to 20x. So um, yeah, so it's like 20K. Okay. So how long have you been at 3 to 4K for?
uh, it's been 4 to 5 months, but to be honest, we weren't quite doing any sales because uh, I have I have been like working on the product and working on getting all the systems right, all the processes. So we built a lot of automations on ClickUp, on all of those things. So once we started selling, we had like a better product than like to just keep selling throughout these months
Yeah.
and deliver a mediocre product.
Okay. Yeah, I appreciate that. So, and what were you doing before this?
Before I started the company on the content production, I had a production company locally, like where we filmed videos, we did commercials, real estate, all that like video side for like corporate companies.
Was that your company, or did you work for another
Yeah,
company?
no, it was mine.
Okay. And how much revenue did that business do?
Uh, it was around $3,000 to $4,000, but it was all the things that it was on Brazil, so it was a different company on the revenue side.
Okay. Did you ever have a job before that?
I worked as a consultant for like a data science,
Okay. And then is like how much were you getting paid there?
uh, around like in dollars at the time it was around $2,000.
Okay. Got it. Okay. So it's interesting because your current revenue levels and your money that you got paid at your job is actually quite similar, right?
Yeah,
I mean, you're making maybe two times more, but it's like maybe like 50% more, but it's actually roughly the same. Um, and that
yeah, because it's
typically,
high revenue, not like profit.
yeah, exactly. But that typically happens for a lot of people when they're transitioning from their part time to full time. Is they'll typically start to make as much as they were because that's what they know, right? And it's what your body can hold. So now it's starting to change the conversation in terms of what that looks like. Does that make sense? You look. So what are you
Yeah,
hearing there?
yeah, yeah. No, it's I hadn't thought about it like in this way, but the questions that you asked, it was so weird, like to realize that it is the same income, you know?
Yeah, and you see it all the time, right? Because it's like that's what you know. Like if you were, earning 5K, 10K a month in your other business, I could guarantee that that's probably where you'd be, right? Because it's just because you have your own threshold for how much you know you can earn, and then a lot of people kind of stay at that threshold, but of course, you know that you want more, right? So when you're generating 10K a month in revenue for this business, how much are you going to take home in your pocket?
Uh, the idea we have, like, to be honest, my lifestyle wouldn't change as much because I already live the way I want to. So we will probably reinvest in the company to like hire more people and do development and do like and have a bigger impact on the clients that we are serving. So I
Hmm.
wouldn't take as much money for me
Okay.
to
But how much
take
how
home.
much of that would be for you?
I think around $2,000.
Okay. So in the early days, one of the things that I like doing is setting yourself a percentage goal on how much you pay yourself. That way, as you make more, it starts to increase. And I know you're not necessarily money motivated, but it's a good thing to do just to start putting it away. Because, you being able to have at least 6 months. Well, let me ask you this. Do you have 6 months of your, like, let's say let's say it costs you 2,000 a month to live, right? Do you have at least
Yeah,
like 12,000 put away?
Yeah, I have like around 40,000 put away.
Okay, so that's good. So checkbox. So you're not. So you
Yeah,
actually have a fallback, which is awesome.
yeah, yeah.
And then okay, yeah. So um, I still always recommend that like when you're kind of growing it like that you start to look at somewhere in the neighborhood of like 20% of it starts to go to you. That way, as it grows, you're not just putting everything back, and then it starts to create some
Okay,
constraints in the business as well, right? Um, so so this is called the profits first model. It's not my model. It's by Mike McAllowitz, but I like applying it for a lot of early stage businesses because it gives us a good idea of what that distribution is. And typically, the model looks like something like this, right? It's like 10% might be profits first. Another like 10 to 15% might go to taxes, right? Then maybe like 30% goes to your operations expenses or your OPEX. And then I'll share my screen here so you can see that too. And then 20% goes to owner's compensation, right? So let me just see 10 plus
so
15
it's
plus
around
30 plus.
30%, 25 to 30% profit.
Yeah, exactly. Because then, um, yeah, so let me just do the math here 20 plus 30 plus 15, 65. Yeah, 35% profit. So what this starts to do is it gives you some guardrails for you to start thinking about the business, right? Um, where did I leave? All right, here we go. Can you see this?
Yeah.
Yeah, that way 20% you take off the top, 30% goes to running the business. Put this aside for taxes. I don't think your tax rate's going to be this high because you're in Brazil, but I don't know. And then
No,
35
it's
is
gonna
in
be around like 80 to 8 to 9%.
8 or 9%.
Yeah,
Okay, so let's just call that 10.
yeah,
So
because it has the 1 or 2% on Stripe as well. So 10, it's okay.
yep. Okay, perfect. So when we start looking at this, 20 plus 30 plus 10 plus 35. Okay, so this could even be like 40. So technically, if you want, you could lower this and you could do this. You could have less profit, or you could do whatever you want with it, right? But the
Okay,
idea is that your rule is that at the end of every quarter, you can decide what to do with the profit. So here, let me just make this bigger. So you can draw it or keep it in the business, right? Any savings on 10% tax is your bonus. Any savings on 40% OPEX is also your bonus. And then 20% is obviously to you. And then
okay,
with all the money that you make extra, of course, you can decide to reinvest it back in your business. Like you absolutely can. But this at least tells you where your money is going to go when you make it, so it just doesn't disappear because that's often what happens to a lot of people, right? So you're actually better off paying yourself a fixed amount from the business. That way, the business doesn't become your bank account. Does that make sense?
yeah. No, no. Uh, on the accounting side, I think uh, I'm very clear where the business starts, where the business stops,
Mm-hmm.
and like because I think a lot of people, uh, I saw a lot of people like I have my father and my mother. They both did exactly what you are warning me against. Like
Yeah.
the business were their bank account, and when it was all mixed up and it was like really really not good.
Mm-hmm.
uh, so I think I learned a lot from that, and like I have my account and the business, and then I take home a fixed amount as a salary for me
Yeah.
as I'm working on the business, because I don't want to mix it up and have uh, any kind of mix up from the bank account to my own bank account.
Yeah. Cool. So how does this feel for the percentages here?
Yeah, I think it's very close to what I was expecting for the operations and the taxes, and I just didn't make that distinction between the profit and the owner's compensation.
Yeah, this is super important because with the profit you can decide to obviously invest in other things in the business and programs, mentorship, ads, future stuff, and so on, right? Because we want to start building the war chest for the business so you can do more things in the future. Because you also want to do the same thing here, where you create a 6 month runway for the business,
For the business. Yeah.
right? So and it's not always going to be that clean in the beginning, but that's definitely going to want to be you're definitely going to want that as a goal. And it's super important for you to look at creating owner's comp as a percentage, because you do want to be incentivized along the way, right? Because
Yeah.
if the business keeps growing but your money never grows, it's also going to be super tough on you. And the most important thing that you should do is take some money out along the way and park it along the way, so that because you never know what will happen to the business, right? Because what a lot of people do reinvest everything back into the business, and then something happens to the business and they never took any money out and they put themselves in a really poor position.
Yeah.
So this is why I say, do it as a percentage and start to take some money away.
Okay.
Because do you have any debt right now?
No, no, zero.
Okay, perfect. So then the other thing that you can do is, once the money comes out, have you ever heard of a book called The Richest Man in Babylon?
I have heard of it, but I never read it.
Okay. You should go ahead and read that book, because I believe that every person that's running a cash based business like an agency, you want to expect that most of the money you're going to make is what's coming out along the way. And you want to build it as if you're going to get an exit, but you also want to assume that you'll never get an exit, which
Okay.
is often, the biggest liquidation event and cash event for an entrepreneur. But once you get the 20%, the more you can, so if your living expenses never increase to above 2000, that's amazing. Then you could always live on less, but what you want to do is put 10% away for investment, 20% for savings, which can also go to investment. But if you can live on less than 50% of what you make, then all of this you can put towards investments in the future for yourself outside the business. And that's also super important,
Yeah.
because a lot of people don't do this and then they stay broke. Like, because then you always, because what you want to do is take money out of this business that's active income, where you're paying to make, like, where you have to put in your time to make money. Because the goal, because there's three levels here, right? The first thing that you're doing is exchanging your time for money. And then the next thing that you're going to do with the team is you're going to exchange your money for your time. And this is usually through hiring, right? And this is usually through services. And then your goal is to get to a point where you're leveraging money for money. And this is investing.
Yeah.
So this is
Now,
where,
and
what's that?
I think this is very important because we just spend like the last 4 or 5 months training the people that is they are working with us, and then if I hadn't had any money saved up, uh, like I don't know if I could have keep paying them the salaries that we were paying and not letting them go. So not only I understand the importance of having the runaway money for the business as well. Like we lived
Yeah.
a 1 to 2 months period where if I didn't have any money, I would have to let two people that are very talented on our team go, because I wouldn't have the money to pay them from only the
Yeah.
works that we were doing. So
Yeah.
yeah, I think this is like uh, it's one of the first priorities that we have right now is to take the money and make the runaway for the business.
Yep. Yeah, exactly. Runway for the business.
Runway, yeah.
Yeah, you don't want your money running away from you.
No,
So,
no.
um, yeah. So the last thing I wrote here is, yeah, if you can live on 50% and you can keep your expenses low, and then keep saving the other 50%, and then you can invest that in the future. The best case scenario that you're living in is that your investments will start to appreciate and get cash flowing, so that that can replace your agency income.
Yeah,
Because then this would be the best place for you to be in is, then you can make decisions in the agency because you don't have to make money from it. Then you could actually build it how you want.
yeah,
Right? Even if even if something happened to the agency and it disappeared one day, you know that you took the money out. This is the biggest mistake that I made. This is the biggest mistake that I know a lot of entrepreneurs make. When they first make money, they don't put any away and they spend it. Like
yeah.
I've spent millions of dollars, like just like on things, right? And didn't put enough. Obviously I'm doing that now because I've invested in companies, real estate, and so on. But like you want to get to a point where your earned income, I'm sorry, your passive income from your investments is exceeding or meeting your earned income. And for you, that goal is 2,000. So that's a very attainable goal for you right now.
Yeah.
So I would say that's kind of step one here, right? Um, okay, so this is good. So this is kind of the thing that you want to think about for our next call, because this is just all like goal setting and what you're going to do with the money. But the next thing you want to think about is how many clients do you actually want to work with to get to 10K. And I think the biggest thing that you can start doing is listing out what's every single problem that they have. And you can even do this in ChatGPT. I can send you some prompts to do it. But it's like every single problem that they have and every single solution that you can offer. And you want to start thinking of, well, do you want to work with one client and get to your 10K? Do you want to get to, two clients to get to your 10K, three clients to get to your 10K? I don't think I would do anything more than that, like, because it'll be kind of crazy. Like, it will be so much work for you. But, and that's the biggest mistake that a lot of people make. But you want to start thinking of how many clients you actually want in order to generate that 10K for that first goal and that first milestone. Because how many clients do you have now?
Around 4 to 5 clients.
Yeah. And you might have to fire like all your clients, right? Because, and this is going to be a whole different conversation once we'll get to it, but that's kind of like, so that would be the next steps, is for you to get super clear on how many clients you actually want to work with and what are you going to do for them. And then we can go over that and look at the offer. Because once you're super clear on your offer, then the next step is, generate the leads, get the people in, and then obviously, figure out the delivery. But you have the delivery structured already, so a lot of this is just figuring out how do you charge for it in a way that's more leveraged for you, right?
Okay.
So,
And for the delivery, are you asking me to list not only what we do today, but all the things that I imagine we can do for a client, and then
mhm.
we'll pick those? Okay.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, because the next conversation I really want to go, because you have a pretty clear idea in terms of avatar already. So really, I want to just nail down the offer and just make sure it's solid. But the question that you have to ask for yourself is how many clients you want to work with in order to hit your 10K a month goal,
Okay.
and then we'll pick up from there.
Uh, okay. Sounds good.
All right, cool. So are you
Yeah.
clear on your next steps?
Yeah, read the book on the richest man on Babylon, and then figuring out how many clients we want to work with to get to the 10K, and listing out everything that we want to serve the clients with the offer that we have.
Yeah. Now listing out all the problems and solutions. And I'll give you I'll give you a chat GPT prompt that literally kind of does this for you.
Okay.
But then you can then look at it and review it and see what it looks like. It's not mine. It's from an amazing copywriter named Stefan Georgi, but it's an amazing, amazing resource. So I'll send that your way.
Okay, that sounds amazing.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, see you next week.
Yeah, sounds good. Talk to you soon.